Hello and welcome to the introduction. We decided to write about the Tesla company. The Tesla stock market has provided a good return for its investors over time, especially the last 5 years, as you can see on the screen. But when you look at individual companies, the sharing prices will fluctuate a lot and times throughout the year, also year after year. If you have a basic understanding of the factors that affect the share prices, you will easily be able to understand why companies' price development is as it is. So when we talk about more of the market analysis, uh, Tesla has a controversial CEO, Elon Musk, to say the least, and one of his recent controversial statements was that he was buying Twitter, a social media platform, and the Tesla stock fell down. It dropped by 10%, down to $636 per share. And further later that week, it dropped more than 35% from its previous weeks at around 700. When it comes to industrial risk regarding raw materials, fortunately, Tesla has good companies behind them, and they need raw materials like for the battery, like lithium, nickel, and cobalt. And to analyze this more, uh, Tesla made a statement about not caring about competition because they had a lot of in-house production. So just by saying that, the Tesla stock rised up at 11%. And when it comes to external factors, there's nothing Tesla can do really. When it comes like the Ukraine war, which is a political risk for the industry, Tesla has lost about $13.3 billion on the war, and it was um, not clear how much they lost under pandemic. But even though Tesla stock is going up and down due to these factors and not because the war is slowing down the delivery of the cars. At the opening of the stock exchange, Tesla share rose about 5%. The growth came after the company announced that it would split shares to be able to pay dividends. The last time Tesla split share were in August 2020. The share had risen 8% at closing time. Um, and in a Twitter message, Martin Viecha, Director of Investor Relations of Tesla, announced the repurchase program of his own shares for a total of $15 billion. They wanted to repurchase their stocks from the open market with intention to pay dividends to shareholders.
Tesla do not pay dividends to their investors, and they don't have intention to do that. They reinvest their profit in their business expansion. Their business strategy is based on increasing their business value and making sure that that they are making use of the money for the best interest of their shareholders. Based on the income statement analysis in 2022, the automotive gross margin reaches to 32.9% and the gross profit was 5.54 billion. Their automotive revenue was based on selling credits, which was $679 million. The revenue is increased due to increase in the delivery of cars and increase in the average price of sales and the increase in selling credit regulatory. As it's clear on the graph that the revenue has increased, however, there is a net loss before 2020. Starting from 2020, they started to make a profit. This is due to an increase. Starting from 2020, there was an increase in selling of credit. regulatory credits. In 2022, in the last 3 months, the revenue has increased by 81%, making 18.76 billion, and the automotive sector had increased to 83%, making 18.14 billion, and which give an indication that they are spending more money and more than generating money due to their fast growing innovation in the company. The sale of credit regulatory had increased their profit and had boosted their revenue, which make them in 2021 the sale of credit had reached to 1.5 billion, making their net profit to be raised to 5.52 billion, and their total sales in 2019 had jumped from 986 million dollars to 1 million.58 to 1 billion 58 dollars in 2020, which had made the SEC regulatory wanted Tesla to separate the tangible sales from the intangible products. However, Tesla did not agree on doing that. Um, the government have provided credit for the automakers in order to encourage them to develop zero emission vehicles. However, as Tesla is being known that they develop the zero emission vehicle below the requirements that is set by the government, make the government to give them had made the government to give them for free the credits. That's why they sell these credits to other automakers and make 100% profit from them. In 2022, in the first quarter, their delivery for their vehicles has increased, making 3,010.48 vehicles. Most of these deliveries was a Model 3 and Model Y, which represent 95% of their sales. In 2021, their sales had grown by 50%. However, they had shown some slowdown, which have caused a delay in their customer deliveries. They don't pay dividends, as they don't pay dividend to their investors. They are planning to do stock dividend. However, they're waiting for approvals from their shareholders. This after if they had an approval from their investors, their share price will increase by 5% in the trading market. This stock dividend will give the shareholders fraction of per share they own. The earning per shares had grown on a yearly basis by 65% until it reached to 217%. In the first quarter in 2022, they had reached to 3.22 dollars. However, their forecast was 2.26, which had Tesla financing policies is based, they provide Tesla financing for their customers in order to help them buy or lease a new car. Not necessary to be new car, it could be a used one. Their loans, they provide loans not for every model and not for every country. They have some limitations for leasing and for providing loans. The models that is allowed for taking loans are Model S, Model X, Model Y, and Model 3. The term for the loan and for leasing is as follows: that the longer term, depending on the model, and the longer term was 72 months, and the longer term for the leasing was 36 months. Of course, it depends on the model. And the leasing is allowed only for cars that starting from 10,000 miles till 15 mileage per annual. The applying process is through purchasing the car model through the website and selecting the design, and after the before the delivery date before the delivery date, with 30 to 60 days, they provide a recommendation for customer for financing the car.
As a conclusion, the market research have provided us information that has given us the impression of Tesla is not just a company. Their CEO Elon Musk plays a big role when it comes to driving the stock prices up and down, even when it has nothing to do with Tesla directly, like the Twitter purchase, or the comment about competitors, and other speculation affecting Tesla as a company. Tesla has no control over external conflicts in the war, like the war in Ukraine or the COVID-19 pandemic. But the company is still looking ahead by opening up Gigafactory in Berlin and Gigafactory in Shanghai, even though Shanghai has been closed down numerous times because of the regulations in China. Um, By splitting shares, Tesla has the intention of paying dividends to its share owners, which is the first time in history. Their revenue exceeded the market's expectation with half a million delivered cars with only two car models, which is the Model 3 and Model Y.